Alright everybody, I've had some people ask me how's progress going on your John Deere M, and never actually done an update video since I started this. Probably that was January of 2012, I believe, was the last time it ever ran. As you've seen on some of my YouTube videos, I got it running since then. So I'll give you a little update where we're at to here. Alright, well, as of now, it's got the somewhat rare 125 pound front wheel weights. Traded those. I had a pair of the 50s that show the hubcap through. Well, problem with those is you put the sickle mower I have, which is a model 51, I believe. It's the mount, not the mid mount. It was really nose heavy. A 2-bottom plow I also have for this. I haven't ever had it on here, but I know that would be really light in the front end. So I came across these. The guy wanted to trade them because these are storing a John Deere L, and so I ended up trading them for him. The radiator has not been replaced. It's been repainted. Hasn't leaked, and it looked in good condition internally. Tractor, when I got it, had the 12-volt conversion done. Whoever did it in the past really cobbled it together, and it was bad. So I ended up getting a new wiring harness from Steiner Tractor. I had it custom made for a 1-wire alternator. I told them basically what I had, and they wired it up for me. So it worked out really well. It looks like it's cloth wiring, but it's not. It's plastic underneath with cloth over it, so it's quite safe, and I actually kind of like it. So, let's see. Reason the head and the oil pan are back off of it is because I had a head gasket leaking. Upon further review, I forgot to spray the copper gasket sealer on the engine, so I had the oil kind of seeping out the side. It wasn't blowing everywhere. It wasn't using coolant. It was just had some oil leaks, and before I paint this thing, I wanted all the oil leaks taken care of. So I pulled that back apart, and in the meantime, when I pulled it apart, I cheated a little bit trying to get the head moved so I get the push rods out without taking the rocker arms off, and cheating never gets you anywhere. And one of the push rods fell down the oil pan, and I had to take it back off. So, with that said, this engine has been rebored at one time, and it is 40 over, as you might be able to see right there in the block. And to find 40 over rings is about non-existent, because John Deere dealers back in the day were the only ones that had the 40 overs, apparently, or machinists did. You cannot find 40 over anymore. So I reinstalled the rings, had good compression, didn't smoke. I actually found on eBay a set of 40 over rings, so I am going to be installing new rings in this. Just since I got it apart this far again, might as well do it. It has good oil pressure and everything else. All the other bearings are in good shape. Installed a new fan, as I said, new wiring, new coil. The lights on this are kind of interesting. A lot of people might not like it, but I'm going kind of for a modern, usable restoration on this tractor. I installed LEDs, as you can see there. These come from, I think it's Ag Express Parts, I believe. We sell them through my work, actually. But I'll turn them on here real quick for you. They're really quite bright. Remember, these are 12 volt. It's kind of hard to tell on here, and I kind of got it angled down, but at night, these things are unbelievable how bright they are. They're way brighter than any incandescent bulbs you could ever imagine. They hardly draw any power, so that alternator barely works at all. Let's see what else. The gas tank, the original solder job around the filler neck here cracked, and it wasn't leaking, but wasn't taking any chances. And my dad actually has done stained glass for quite a while, so he took it to his work and resoldered it for me. So that was done. I put a tank liner in it. That was pretty easy, just did it for, you know, a little precaution. Starter has been rebuilt. Obviously there's some new pieces, parts on here. The oil filter canister, when I got this, somebody way over tightened it at one time and squished the top down, and it was leaking all over the place. Upon further review, somebody lost the washer in the bottom and took the oil filter out because they apparently didn't find a washer for it, and had no oil filter when I got it. So that's been addressed. It's got new points in the distributor. What else? New clutch, pressure plate, throwout bearing. Everything on this thing has been resealed, apart for that final drive over on that side. The fenders on this tractor were pretty much garbage. They were rusted out really bad, kind of down here where all the dirt collects and water. They were toast. So anyways, I thought about redoing the old ones that were on here. Kind of deemed that was not going to happen, and started searching for them, couldn't find them. Found some. As you might know, if anybody has a John Deere M, try to find lights for these, or fenders, I'm sorry, you're going to pay a lot of money. I ended up finding some, 175 bucks with shipping from Arizona. Have them sent here. They're beautiful. They really are. I mean, I don't know if you'll ever find fenders this nice that have been outside. There's no rust. It's just surface rust where the paint's kind of got burned off of it from the Arizona sun. I apparently seem to have probably the only John Deere M with a working adjustment knob here on the steering. This one does work, and it doesn't appear it's ever been apart from what I can tell. I kind of greased it up a little bit and it seems to work pretty good. Installed new gauges. Let's see, had the seat frame sent out through my dad's work, and had it E-coated. It was a mess and rusty and nasty, and got that cleaned up. It's painted in that E-coat black right now. Obviously it'll get painted. Tractor's got new rubber all the way around. Those are 11224 Firestone Super All Tractions. The belt pulley was paper. It was garbage. Actually just got this off of eBay. That's a steel pulley that was factory. So that's quite nice. Resealed all the hydraulic units. Got the original quick attach drawbar system on this. Oh, let's see what else we got going on here. The final drives. Last time I drove this tractor, it was making a knocking noise from the final drives, and I figured that I was going to end up finding something really ugly in the final drives. I took them apart. Gears are perfect. Didn't really pay attention, but when I took the hub off, the nut apparently had come loose, or somebody didn't tighten it down a long time ago, and that cast hub started walking back and forth on the axle. Well, as a result of that, the splines are all tore up inside of it, and another piece of garbage pretty much was a result of that. So I searched around for a hub. I couldn't find any. This is a 6-spline tractor, by the way, not 3. Searched around, final drive with the hub on it. Talked to the gentleman about it. He said he probably wouldn't be able to get it off. And I ended up buying the whole final drive. Got it here. I want to take the hub off. I was going to clean that final drive up. It's actually sitting back there in the corner. It's kind of hard to see. At any rate, I was going to use that, and I got it a little hot trying to get it off of there, and stripped basically the threads right off the axle shaft. And that kind of irritated me a little bit, but nonetheless got the final drive off, or the hub off, the final drive, and I put it on this here. I'm gonna have to do a little work probably to the shaft to get it tight again. It's quite tight now, but I just want to make sure that it's not going to get loose and do the same thing again. So that's that. The rims were extremely rusty. They were full of calcium when I got the tractor. The tires that were on the back, those were Firestone Field Roads. And when I took them off, they had a patch inside from 1972 for getting a patch done to the tire. And they were really dried out. So I ended up just replacing the tires. I gave them through cost. So it's a no-brainer when you're restoring a tractor. Just put new rubber on it. I mean, unless they're, they're decent. But let's see. Carburetor was rebuilt. That was in good shape. The air cleaner looks like it might be new. It is not. It had, the top was all kind of goofed up on it. Let's see if I can kind of show you what I did there. You can kind of see the top. It's kind of goofed up still. It's hard to see it. But somebody had screwed the air cleaner lid on and completely screwed the top up. So anyways, I had to straighten that out, resolder the joint. That worked out pretty well. And I just threw a coat of paint on it, stripped it all down with hot seat pressure washer, and that was the result of that. Once again, a new fan. The lights on this tractor, these factory arms were gone. The mounts were also gone. Somebody had just barely sliced the hood here and put some kind of makeshift light mount on in there, and it just wasn't good looking at all. I kind of wanted these because they're nice and sturdy. So I got those aftermarkets. The coolant that was on this tractor was starting to get corrosive. The block and the head were just about plugged with scale. At any rate, it was in pretty poor mechanical shape. None of the parts were really garbage on them as far as the engine was concerned, but if it would have been operated much longer the way it was, it would have been pretty much just about scrap. I mean, as far as the engine was concerned, it needed that cooling system definitely taken care of. I guess that's kind of about it as far as where I'm at. The tie rods were really sloppy. I got new ones of that. I couldn't get the old tie rods out of the tubes, so I ended up having to get new ones of those. Those were not cheap, but got those. At any rate, it's set back in its factory small width. I kind of like it that way just because it hides, there's some ugly behind the rims where they're welded to the dish. So kind of hides that. They're not like in bad shape as far as strength or nothing like that. It's just kind of, aesthetics is kind of ugly. But I guess that's really about it as far as the tractor. And for those who never saw it together, that was what it looked like right before I tore it all apart. And as you can see, it had those 50-pound front weights on it. And that was it when I pretty much brought it home. That's my girlfriend Shannon on there. But it was a fun tractor to mess around on. This is a 1948 model, by the way. I think I forgot to mention that. So we got parts from Vermont, Arizona, Pennsylvania, West Ohio, East Ohio, and I guess that'd be about it. I think there's some more parts from out of state, but basically it took about 4 or 5 tractors to donate some parts for this thing to make it the way it is now, which is pretty straight. So that's about all for now. I guess I'll update you guys when it's almost done. Thanks for watching.